Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Sandra. 我是 Sandra。大家好，今天你们好吗？ See, it changed a little bit. Hopefully, you still understand what I'm trying to say. 今天 today. So, how are you guys today? 今天你们好吗 I hope the answer is 很好。Last but not least, of course, let's not forget 欢迎，欢迎，欢迎。Welcome to Community Mandarin. Today, we're going to continue to learn some Mandarin words regarding the back to school theme. Back to school theme. Last time we learned about all about 学校 and different kinds of 学校. How do we call them? How do we call elementary school? 小学. How do we call middle school and high school? 中学. And how do we call college? 大学, right? Okay, today we're gonna get into a little bit, I would say from my personal perspective, it's something I didn't know before until I had a conversation with my husband. There is different situations depending on what the Mandarin world is doing regarding to the school system and what it is here in America. 美国. So today we're going to be talking about that. Wait a minute, let me get my Okay, here we go. Here's our material. So first we see two Mandarin words on screen. Do you guys need me okay. Okay, you probably don't need me, but okay. So first, 请跟我读. The first one we considered a new word. It is 年级. 年级. Some people might find the 年 part a little bit familiar. Yes, when we're talking about which year. 年 means year. Okay. And the next one we have 班级. 班级. So they both share one Chinese character, 级. Okay, 级 means grade. So now that we know 级 means grade and 年 means year, so maybe you can guess what does 年级 means in Mandarin. 年级 means grade, not not grade as in like you have grade, like your grade is good, not that kind of grade, but it means which year you are in your school system. So if you want to specify which year you are in your school system, what you do is you use the numeral word, of course Mandarin in this case, and then plus 年级. And the next one we have 班级. As you can see, 班级 means class. Here is what I find a little bit difference between what I had, the education I had back in China, in 中国, and it's kind of different. I talked to my husband. They were like, usually over here, it is like a teacher, every teacher owns a classroom. That's at least what I've heard. And then the student would go to that teacher's classroom. But from my personal experience, it's kind of different back in China. It is like we would have a bunch of students, like from my age, we would have about 50. We form a class. We form 一个班级, okay? And then what happens is we all stick together, and for every different class, the teacher comes to us. So that's why in Mandarin situation, we would be talking about which class, because usually we would be assigned a number, of course, So usually say if this 年级, this grade, we would have 5 classes. We would be 一班, 二班, 三班, 四班, 五班. Like as you can see, it's your numeral word in Mandarin plus 班 plus 班. Okay. And next up, let's look at this little conversation. A was asking, 你上几年级? If you happen to catch my last live, you will probably still remember 上 is the verb we use to pair with when we're asking about a person's school. So 上over here, which means you go to which grade. 级 we've learned, right? 级 means how many. As I explained before, since in the Mandarin world, at least in China's current education system, we assigned we assign numbers for your 年级, for your grade, and then for your 班级, for your class. So if we want to raise a question regarding the number of regarding the answer being a number, we use 几, how many. That is your question word for a answer which is a number, So if you want to ask which grade you are in, you use 几, 你上几年级? And the answer would be, well, for example, 我上小学三年级. First, we have to specify 小学. Last time we learned means elementary school. 三年级, the third grade. Okay, so this is an answer you might find, okay, that's like about 5 syllables, 5 Chinese characters, a little bit long. So we have a way to simmer it down, of course. So first, last time we learned there's 小学 and 中学 and 大学, right? So in the current education system, I believe it kind of differs on regions. Some regions would have 5 个 5 grades in 小学, and other regions would have 6 个 6 regions. And 中学, last time we didn't have time to explain. We have junior high and high school, just like what we have here. So for junior high, we call it 初中. And for high school, we call it 高中. So for 初中, usually they would have 3个 3 or 4个年级. Whereas in high school, 高中, usually they would have 3个 3 年级. Okay, 3个 3 年级. And then, last but not least, of course, we move on to 大学, your college, university. In China, college and university, we have the same word. So 大学. And then usually 大学 would have 4个年级, 4 grades, 4 years. Okay. Okay, so if we want to talk about a person's level of education, so first we specify the education level. It is 小学、中学 or 大学, and then you use your numeral word 1 2 3 4 5, and then you say 年级. So over here, first one, we have 3 examples. So first one, 小学5年级. From what we learned before, what would 小学5年级 mean? First 5年级, 5th grade, right? 小学, elementary school. So 小学5年级 is the 5th grade from elementary school. And next one, let's try this one. 初中2年级. 初中2年级, 2年级, the 2nd grade. 初中 is your junior high. So 初中2年级 means the 2nd grade of your junior high. And next one, we have 大学3年级, the 3rd grade of college. Well, like I said, every time we want to talk about a person's educational level, do we have to say 5 syllables? Do we have to say 5 Chinese characters? We don't. Of course. You know what I'm leading to. So we can simmer down to something a lot easier. Over here. So for 小学5年级, the rule is to take the first characters from each word. So 小, and we take 5 from 5年级. We can simply say 小5. And similarly, if it is 初中2年级, we can simply say 初2. And last but not least, 大学3年级, we can simply say 大三. Okay, so let's look at this conversation. Again, this a person is asking, 你上几年级? Which grade are you in? Which grade are you currently in? And B was answering, 我上高三. What is 高三 from what we've just learned before? 高, it's a simmered down version of 高中 high school. 三 is a simmered down version of 三年级 the third grade. So hence you get 高三. It means you are on the third grade. You're in the third grade of high school. And because in the China's current education system, we only have 3 years, 3年 in 高中. So 高三 would be your last year. So the translation can be, I am a senior in high school. I am a senior in high school. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I know it's a little bit, from my personal point of view, it's a little bit hard to explain, and probably it's because it's a different education system. We have different years assigned to different level of education, but hopefully I did my best to explain the differences to you guys. And next week we're gonna be talking about something different, maybe. Okay, I think I kind of abused this back to school lingo a little bit too much. So we'll see you next week. 下周一再见。